Welcome back, YouTube. Today and tomorrow we're going to do some maintenance on a couple cars. Getting ready for the car show. So we got the 54. We'll be taking that, and the Scout will be taking that, and then the Supra over there, that will be taking that as well. So I got to get a couple things fixed and do some working and some general maintenance type stuff. Some stuff that I just kind of wanted to get done. Now I have a really good excuse to get it done. It's for the car show, I promise. So let's get a couple cars moved here, and then yeah, we'll get to it. So to get the Scout started, being a diesel, diesels have glow plugs, and I'm holding the glow plug button right now. Right down here. Hold on. Right here. The little light comes on, stays on for just a couple seconds. But these, the longer you hold the button, the warmer the glow plugs get. Yeah. And these are these old diesel Scouts are very cold-blooded, and they smoke a lot. The engine is actually a Nissan engine, mostly used in forklifts. So if that's any indication on how much horsepower these have and how fast they are on the road, let's see if this old girl starts now. Hey! I usually hold the glow plug button for just a little bit after it starts. It seems to help it warm up quicker. Another fun thing about these Scout diesels, no matter the temperature, that's what it looks like when you start it. Just a huge cloud of smoke. And you gotta let it warm up, or she don't like to go. Not bad. It's like 60, almost 70 degrees out right now. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. Anything below like 40 degrees and this thing just does not want to start. Helps to plug in the block heater. But this is what we're going to work on first today. I've got to replace the front brakes, and then I got to do some work with the vacuum lines and stuff like that. I'll show you. Helps the brakes work better, and the steering and the belts, and I got to do some work over there. Been meaning to get on that for the last, I don't know, 7 years, so I might as well poke into it today. So yeah, we'll get this moved, and then I'll show you guys what we're working with. Alright, so let's do a quick once over. Scout carpet's been ripped out. Actually has probably helped save these floors a little bit. They are by far not perfect. They are pretty rough, but these have a tendency to rust out terribly. So yeah, the carpet was that color and it got tore out, and that probably helped slow the rust process. But it has a super cool plaid interior. The seats, the back seat, I'm going to move that speaker for the show. Pretty basic layout. When International was building these things, you could order it in any like color combination and all the options, or whatever options, or whatever. There was probably no two Internationals that were alike. They were probably pretty similar, but none that were alike. I've never seen a black top. I guess I'm not going to say that. I can't ever remember seeing a black top. Most of them were white. This one has, the Traveler had a full hatch, which was heavier than craziness. I ended up cutting it at this body line right here, and then getting a tailgate off of a regular Scout 2. And so now I have lift up the hatch, drop down the tailgate. I like that a lot better. Let's see. I did the crappy lift. We won't look at that. It was cheap and quick and terrible. Ginormous lift shackles on the back, also on the front. Another thing that International did as far as the front suspension goes is they put the shackles at the front, in front of the axle. Made it a little bit wandery on the highway. The attachment points at the back. Most leaf spring vehicles, the attachment points at the front and the shackles are at the back. They actually have a kit where you can weld eyelets on the front and attach the front and then move the shackles to the back. That might be on one of the someday projects, just not today. But yeah, I did lift it, and it does have the bigger tires on it, which personally I think it looks more symmetrical this way than when it was sitting real low like factory. It had 235 75 15 tires on it, and now we've got these are 305 70 16, so significantly bigger. So yeah, you can look at, like I said, all the options and all the different things. They labeled the stuff on the dash, what it was, and those are all different too, and all the other, depending on what you have and what you don't have as far as what's labeled there. This one is an AC, factory AC model, so that's what this is. I wish it had the factory radio in it. I'd still run that, but it has this. I do like that the dash was not cut. It kind of makes me crazy now that I'm in my older age when people just hack up a dash to put in a cool radio. Yeah, and they're hard to find. So to pop the hood on this, that is your hood release. Bump. When I first got this, my first International, I actually had to Google how to open the hood because I had no idea. Also didn't help that I pulled on that lever many times and this hood was stuck shut. The latch was crusty and rusty a little bit, but yeah, it has the cool front open hood. Since I've had it, I got rid of the big restrictive air cleaner. This air cleaner is now a hot air intake, not a cold air intake, because it's just sucking the hot engine air. But it gets more air than it did with a little tiny, it was a hole about this big. Smaller than this hole was the air intake. I replaced the radiator, a nice aluminum radiator. Ordered off Amazon or eBay, I think Amazon maybe. Fit in there perfect. I didn't have to modify a single thing. Bolted right up. Oh, there's Grandpa letting his dog out. What else have I done? I had to replace the alternator. You can see down there. And that I upgraded a little bit. That was a mess. But yeah, so today one of the things I plan on working on is the vacuum. Since this is a diesel, the vacuum runs off the back side. There's a vacuum pump on the back side of the alternator. So when the alternator's spinning, the vacuum pump is spinning, and then that's what runs the power brake booster and anything else that's vacuum operated. My issue is this belt for the power steering is way loose, but I have a 1/16 of an inch clearance there and probably a 1/16 of an inch clearance there. So I don't know, I need to get maybe a smaller belt here to pull that alternator closer, and then get a smaller belt for the power steering pump so I've got a little more room to flex that. That's kind of the main thing I want to do as far as under the hood maintenance goes. These brakes they're grindy. They're metal on metal, and they've been doing that for a little while, so I haven't been driving this much. I do have brand new rotors and brand new pads for it, so we'll get those thrown on, and then we'll mess with those belts. AC's not hooked up. That belt's just straight up missing. I've never put it on there. I've never tried to put it on there. At this point, I don't really plan on fixing that. I'm not really concerned about it. So, yeah. This has, I think it was fixed at one other time. You can see there's rust there. But there's this weird line right here. Looks like it might have been fixed at one point previously. Something patched in there. I think definitely the front end has been replaced because the colors don't match, the stripes don't match, unless it's like how GM was back in the good old days, where the front ends were painted separately than the bodies, and the front ends always look different than the rest of the body as far as color and fading and primer goes. But she's got a crack right there in the same spot as the passenger side. Rust down there, rust right there. Like I said, Scouts are notorious for rust. They dipped them in some super secret special formula that was supposed to inhibit rusting. And oh yeah, you can see it was repainted at least once because they just taped around that decal. You can see they taped around this one too. So yeah, quality. They probably put more work into taping around that decal than just getting a new decal and putting it on there. So, all right. Well, all right. So I pulled the lugs off. Nuts. We'll see. Oh yeah, she smoked. That's pretty rough. These look like these should have been done years and years and years and years ago. Look at that. It's metal to metal, but it's only metal to metal on the high points. The low points are still okay. This has been in need of changing brakes for years. Let's see, I don't know. Yeah, that's touching. I can't see back there. I don't have a flashlight. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that back pad is pretty skinny too. I don't know if you can see that. But the rear of the rotor is still shiny, so that's not metal to metal, but yeah, that's pretty rough. So let's dig into this and see what it's going to take. Looking at it, I have a feeling I'm going to have to pull this hub all the way apart to replace these brakes. So let the fun begin. So the first step on this is, looks like this comes out and then this will lift up and pull off that way. So I wire brushed that a tiny bit. So let's see how easy that is to get out of there. Whoops. Let's Everything's a hammer. Oh. Come on. There. See, I wonder. I don't actually have a hammer. But I wonder if that taps out. Back. Well, there's a little tab right here on both front and the back. A little tab and a little tab. So I don't imagine that slides either way. I bet it comes straight out. So sit here and watch that for a second. I'm going to grab a hammer. Okay, I'm back. So, I'm going to use, I got a real pry bar too, because my big huge screwdriver, the tip got busted, because I use it as a pry bar. So now it's real thick, so I want this, I like this thin tip better to get in there. So we'll see. Whoa. So after beating on it for a minute, I got it out. This guy here, what I ended up doing is where the little tab was bent over on both sides, I accidentally broke that off. And this piece of metal that is kind of a spring, it's got spring tension. That sits on there, and then you put that in there and pound it into place, and that holds the caliper in place. The screw I took out holds this in place, so this doesn't walk out. Yeah, so she was in there a little rusty. Got a hammer and a little narrow screwdriver and beat this out a little ways, and then beat on this, and then that slid out. So I did get it. Now where'd my screwdriver go? Here's a pry bar, good enough. So we'll knock that down. Maybe. Figure out how to get that pried out of there. Let me set you guys down so you can watch this circus I got going on. And then comment. All of you that have done this before, comment. Oh, you should have done this. This would have been better. Because next time, I'll know what I'm doing. Haha, funny, funny. There, let's see. Maybe that bottom pries out first. A bigger pry bar would be nice. Yeah, this is the way it goes. I can see an air gap in there. It just, this thing is so crusty on here. I'm guessing if these brakes were ever done in the past, let's see, this is 1980. I'm guessing they were done in 1990. So give that, I don't know, 30 years. There could be 30 years of rust on here. It's plausible. There we go. There's a little gap at the bottom. There. There. Also, being that they're metal to metal, that doesn't help getting these off of here. Bearings are good. They spin good. Yeah, there is none pad left on this. That is smoked. And where the grooves are, where these grooves are, that's where these pads wore down previously, where the rivets were. The rivets that hold the pad material to the back, that is right there, there, and there. So this one is wide because these two are close together. And then there's this guy down here, and that's that one. So this wear is because somebody smoked these before and they went, throw pads on it, it'll be good enough. Good times. All right, so let me see. I'll figure out how to do this. If you're doing brakes, one thing you don't want to do is when you take this off, let this hang, because now you're putting all that pressure on that old crusty brake line that's going to pop and break on you. So when you do this, you want to put it up high where there's no pressure on here. One of the better things to do is if you've got a metal coat hanger, that works. Clip it, put a hook on here and a hook on here so that hangs. Or they have an actual thing you can buy that is a metal huge S hook that you hook and it hangs. But I think now what I got to do is start taking apart this hub to get this rotor off of here and get the new one on. So I did the smart thing. Worked on the driver's side, figured that out. It took me forever. So we'll go and do this side. Hopefully it goes a little bit faster and I can show you guys how this is done. Where I left off over there was I had this out here and I was trying to get this piece out. This little metal piece here goes the length. There's a gap in there and that's a little metal curved piece, so it's kind of got spring tension, and that just taps out. When I was doing that, I just wasn't tapping quite hard enough and wasn't getting it to come out like I wanted. So let's see if I can. Let me set you guys where you can see what's going on here. And then this, and we'll use this guy. See if I can do this without hitting my fingers. Tink. So there you go. That was in there. This is that little curved piece of metal. Just sits right on top of here. And keeps pressure between the two. Hopefully the other side doesn't rattle or work its way out because I busted off the end in the end. So then, let's move you guys back up here. Let's move you guys back up here and see what we can. Let me check. Make sure you're low. What are you guys watching? Okay. Part of the reason this is so hard to get out of here, besides the rust, the rustiness, is, see the not shiny, not shiny, shiny. That is where the not shiny part, that's where these rivets are rubbing into the rotor right there. Right here, that's where the rivets are rubbing in. Where it's not, where it is shiny, that is the little tiny bit of braking pad that is left, excuse me. So these are riveted on to these backing plates, and my rivets are rubbing. I don't know if they were smoked before, but yeah, the back is the same. You can see those rivets right there and there are rubbing. It's fresh metal. Okay, now the learning part. So these have little tabs on them that are bent over. That one has, the whole thing's missing, but it's a little, basically a shaped washer that fits the shape of this hole, and then this tab sticks up and then it bends over. So I have to unbend all of those tabs. Like this one, that one's missing, this one's broken. All but one on the other side were broken, and when I pulled it off, it also broke. So I don't foresee, yeah, these are all going to break too. So they must be like one-time use. After you unbend them, you replace them, type of thing. That's awesome. So like these, you can see that tab, how it's cracked right there. The second I try to bend that at all anymore forward or backwards, it's just going to snap off there. Same with this one. The rest of them snapped off. These were the only two that didn't yet. They're going to. So yeah, this just fell off. There is a paper gasket in here. That's half ripped out. Yeah, we'll leave that for now. All right. There's a small snap ring right here. One-handed is awesome. Let me set you guys down at a different angle. small snap ring. And then there's inside here, it's hard to see, I should get my flashlight. There's another snap ring. In theory, this whole thing's supposed to wiggle off in one piece. I will tell you, when I did the other side, it came off in all the pieces. So, I'm going to set this down. Just so when those bearings fall out, they don't land directly in the dirt. And they're a little easier to clean. It was kind of a pain in the boot. Booty. Oops. So I'm going to try this. There, they all popped out. Oh, good. That's what I was trying to not do. So this little spring. Hubs are my favorite. They're so messy. Greasy and everything. There. That pops in there. I put the other side together incorrectly. Here's all those bearings that fell out of that race right there. Hang on. Let's see, let me move this stuff. And the other thing I fought with on the other side is okay, so I don't know, this is all pretty greasy. I don't know what these things are, what they're supposed to be, if they're supposed to be softer or rubber or what, but there's, in here, there's a spring right here over the top holding these things in place. On the other side, they were all cracked all the way around and kept falling out. I'm going to guess they're not supposed to be falling out. So I did the right thing, and I just kind of put them back together and put it back together and didn't replace anything. Finding parts for this, getting parts for this at the parts house is not the easiest. But why don't you just do the right thing and order parts? Well, you see, I've got a car show coming up in 2 days that this is entered into. I'm going to guess I probably don't have time to tear this apart and then wait for new parts. Or, you know, have the money for new parts right now. So, I'll do what I always do and fix it good enough. It's good enough. It'll be fine. And the battle happen. Also, you use lots and lots of paper towels when you do hubs. If you do something that's got wheel bearings and you repack the wheel bearings, lots and lots of grease. So, this next thing is, you can see, let me get a pointer here. There's holes. This hole is a little bit smaller than these holes. The bigger holes, they actually have a little tiny Allen holding this locked into place to a disc behind here. My snap ring pliers, one would go in here and one would go in here, but I don't have snap ring pliers big enough for that. So I'll pull these little guys out and I'll show you. This is, come on. This is a little 5/64 Allen to pull these guys out of here. Come on. There. And you can see, you might have saw it on the first one. It's got this little tip. It's got that little tip in there that it goes, when it screws into that ring, it actually seats in a little indent behind there to keep it from turning. There's that threaded ring. And then behind here, there's a keyway in this hub. And this is the little ring. Come on. This is a little ring that those screws seat into. So those screws go in and they seat in there. This has a keyway right here that slides in there, so this can't turn. So that ring can only turn so far. So they won't back out, so that won't back out, so everything doesn't back out. I thought there was one more, but there's not. Let's see, let's wipe this again. And there's a big huge nut. I do not have the correct socket for that nut. A little tappy tap tap and she threads right off. There's that. And there's another, like a spacer that's keyed for that. And then this all slides off. Yeah. There's the bearing. The other bearing is that rides right here is down there. So yeah, the back side of this is shiny, not shiny. This is where the rivets were riding and rubbing in, making my brakes not work very well. So in order to get this hub piece off of here, we actually have to press all of the studs out and then just pop this and it'll come out. And then we put the new rotor on, press the studs back in, it's back together, and we can go back together. So let me get over there real quick. So I already popped 4 of these out, 4 of these lugs out. But this is how you do it. I propped it up on 2x4s, 1 on each side. Boom. So now didn't even have to hit it, just came right out. So the hub, where the bearings are, and then I wasn't ready. We unwrap our new rotor. And the new rotor just sits right on top of there. You line up the holes. And what else do I need? Push those back in. I used an old rotor, or you can use the one you just pulled out. Take your studs, drop them down in the hole. And then what you want to do is, where'd my square piece go? I just had it. Here it is. Put that on there. I use this little square tube to support this side, so when I push down it doesn't tilt. And then just push that stud in. And then rotate it. Do the next one. And so on. I stick my finger behind here so I could touch the stud, and then when I press, I can actually feel it getting pushed in. And usually when it stops, this gets really, really hard. So it's in. Okay. So that's all 5. Now, that one looks like it could go just a hair further. Yep. Yep, she did. And that one does. And there you have it. The hub is pressed onto the new rotor. Those are pressed into the back there. And we'll go over here and start going back together. Okay, since I'm not doing this the right way, we're kind of half button it. Got my grease gun and I'm just squirting a little grease just to get a little bit of new grease down in this bearing. The right thing to do would be to take, there's this seal right here, take that off, pull the bearings out, clean them up, dry them, and then completely repack them, clean everything out, and repack everything. But I'm not going to do that. Then slip that on there, and here comes the fun. Hi, Bella. Hi, Bella May. Hi. Are you a good girl? This is Bella. This is Bella, everybody. She's a good girl. This is my grandpa's dog. Say hi, Bella. Who's a good girl? Yes, you are. That's my grandpa's dog. They babysat her. We went on vacation a couple years ago, and they babysat her and never gave her back. And so she's just been my grandparents' dog. She's 15 years old. 15 years old. She's an old girl. She can't hear very well. Can't see very well. Doesn't eat very well. What? There's leaves falling on me like it's going to be fall or winter soon. What kind of crazy talk is that? Okay, so this bearing, I wiped off the grease, the excess grease a little bit. Like I said, parts washer, carb cleaner, brake parts cleaner. The best thing to do is to spray all of the crap out of here. These bearings look actually pretty good. Rolls pretty good. Hi, Bella. Hi. Are you gonna help? You gonna help me? Are you gonna help me, sweet girl? Yeah, you gonna help? Good girl. Oh goodness.
Come on, Bella.
There, Grandpa's calling. Over there.
Yeah.
Over. Come here.
Yeah.
Bella. Come here.
Bella.
If you want, I can let her in a minute.
Come on, Bella. Come on. She's coming.
There, now she sees it.
And one day, hope you put that back together.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. There. There, I half packed it. Push some of that new grease down in there. Push that on. Squirt some grease from that side. Holy moly! Are you guys alright? Are you guys okay? I caught you. Did I mention you go through a lot of paper towels? Okay, now, let's see. Here's the locking ring. Nope, here's just the washer ring. Then the threaded nut ring. I don't have a socket. There's a socket. You can buy sockets that are big enough to fit on there. I do not have that socket. So gives me a little bit of resistance. Still spins good and then slows itself down. So it's not too tight, not too loose. Then the ring with the holes. Stick that in there. Then the ring with the holes. The threaded ring with the holes. How about that? Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just not as hard because it's big. A little tap, tap, tap. Get my little tiny threaded Allens. No need to smoke these down. It's got a little drip of blue Loctite on it already. Okay. All right, now the fun parts. In theory, this was all supposed to come off as one unit. Come off in one piece. And I wasn't supposed to have to mess with this. But that's what it did on the other side too. So I wasn't really expecting it to work on this side. So this is the outside, this outside hub portion. Looks like there's grease and dirt built up that when you get it in there, it kind of holds it in place. That's good. The other side, cylinder. I wonder if I can put this snap ring back in and just not worry about it. There. So in theory, I don't know, I think since this isn't supposed to come apart, that it's okay that I put that back on there? I don't know, we'll find out, I guess. Jeffrey's home. School starts for us. What is today? Wednesday? 6 days. A week from yesterday. I need to go turn in some stuff for school. We're starting school late here this year because we had construction on our school buildings. What do you think? Does it look right?
What?
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good enough. Now, let's see, where's that one right there? This is all the fun in the world. Working on cars is so much fun. It's not messy at all.
Is this recording right now?
Yes.
Is the screen normally black on this?
Well, I got it on the front camera, so don't say anything embarrassing.
Like what? Sing a song about working on cars is amazing.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Don't talk about like pooping your pants or anything.
I'm not mom. I'm going inside.
Okay. So I'm seeing, what I just did was I put just a tiny squirt of grease in all these little bearing slots, hoping that helps them stick into place. Then maybe it'll, there. It kind of helps hold them in place. That's a trick on old Chevys when you're doing the fuel pump and you got that rod that goes up into the block. Put a little bit of grease on it, and that grease will be just enough to help it stay in place so you can get that fuel pump up in there. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I didn't do that with the other side, and I spent a little more time than I should have trying to get those all in there. The other side took me like 2 hours. 10 hours later. Uh-oh. I lost 2. Oh, there's one. I just didn't get the other one in. Now, this is the back. I know why. So, they sort of work, they still fall out. So, snap ring has to come back. Because since this came apart the way it did, come off of there. There. Take that off. Dang it. There. Dun, 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 dun. We're in like a dirty shirt. So now, what we do, and again, ding. Just for fun, since I just, fresh repacked all these bearings. Put a couple squirts of that in there. And then this. Come on. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One of my favorite things, when you drop it, it's covered in grease. And now it's covered in dirt and gravel and chunks. And, ugh. You want to wipe that off because you don't want that floating around in here with your hubs or your bearings. Because that will smoke them quick. Get those starting to wear out, and then you've got the debris in there, and then you've got the metal flakes falling off in there, and it's like a snowball. Starts out small, something little in there, no big deal, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, killing the smalls. Yeah, it did. She's in. Okay. Now, what are we looking for? Oh yeah. Wire brush. What you don't want to do is wire brush everything and clean it right over the top of your hub that you just finished putting together. I don't know how necessary that gasket is. But there's a gasket in there. Torque it down to the proper ugga-dugga in the proper ugga-dugga sequence. Stay hydrated. Oh. There. Now the hub is auto, or you spin it around to lock, and that locks her in. Back to auto, she's good to go. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, where these all ride. Usually brakes have pins that you attach from the back, and that's what again. My little brake tool is brake caliper pusher inner tool is breaking. One time I may have used this tool for something that it was not intended. What that was, I don't remember, but I may have tweaked it. I have seen people use a caulking gun to squeeze that back in. That would work. I have seen people use C-clips and they just twist it. That would work. This fancy tool is the caliper pusher inner. It's probably the technical term too if you want to look it up. put an old brake pad in there, and then you just thread on this, nice and easy, and it pushes the fluid back into the master cylinder. This one's going in a little harder than the other side did. And this I'm dragging. There. I just picked up that pad a little bit so it's not touching the caliper. Just in case the pad was dragging on the caliper and that was binding up. I'm guessing that wasn't it because it's still tough. Ooh. Okay, I think that's pretty much it there. Yeah, I'd say that's it. Take that out. Get rid of that. Then, the other side, I had to modify this pad just a tiny, tiny bit. These fit in some tabs, some holes on the other side. And it does not seem like that one will either. So, I'm going to go hit this with the grinder and I will be right back. Alright, so like I said, I grindered so that would fit in that little tab. You can't even see it. I can't. Yeah, that fit right in there. Just a hair. Some dielectric grease on the mating surfaces. A nice coating of it on the rotor. Just kidding, there's none on the rotor. Don't put any dielectric grease on the rotor. And then slip the top in there. Ooh, she's on there snug. Ooh. That one's gonna be toasty. Oh my gosh, that's not right. He's not right there. It's gotta be crooked. Oh. There we go. Oh. That's what you don't want to happen. the anti-vibration plate. I'm happy. There's the get back on there. I know that. That's in there all the way. That's on there all the way. Just for fun. Just for fun. Are you having fun? Are you recording me too?
No.
Oh. You look like you were holding your phone and you weren't holding me. Double recorded. I do not consent. Ah.
Hey, your back one's falling out.
I know. I know. Okay. Let's just go. Kind of wedged in there. Funny. Let's just run her straight all the way back. All right. No pad in the way, right in the center. Give her a little shot. I might have moved a tiny bit. Could you tell?
No.
Sometimes those pistons don't push in all the way. You think they do, but they don't. Probably would help if I put this back on. Put it on the right way. Oh yeah, that's way gooder. I can already tell. It just fell right into place. So that piston was out just a tiny, tiny bit. Now, the trick is, the other one was broke because I broke it. This one, not broke. Hey, it's going in for easy. Don't cross thread it. Nature's Loctite. Nice and snug. And there you go. There you have it. Brand new front brakes. What do you think?
Everything else is kind of rusty. They don't match.
No, it's patina. Got those on there. It's hard to spin with one hand, but that's it. The new pads, those are way honking thicker than these ones are that have none pad on them. All right. Well, that's it for this project. Oh, what are you guys looking at? Yeah. We'll see. I got to try and get some vacuum hoses fixed, and it's getting kind of late in the day, and dinner's getting ready, so I might go in and try it again tomorrow. So we'll give it a shot then. Thanks for watching.